In this video, I'm about to show you 15 fast food items that surprisingly aren't ruining your health. Number 15, Starbucks Classic Oatmeal. When you hear fast food, your mind instantly jumps to burgers, fries, and greasy, heavy meals. But it's not always like that. Just last week, I found myself at Starbucks on a quiet morning. Sunlight was spilling across the tables, and an older couple was reading newspapers, occasionally exchanging knowing smiles. I thought, why not try something different today? And I ordered the classic oatmeal. As I watched it being prepared, I noticed the barista scooping the oats with such care that it almost felt like a tiny act of art. This wasn't just breakfast, it was a little ritual, a calm moment in the middle of life's usual rush. I took my first spoonful and immediately felt it. 160 calories, 4g of fiber, 5g of protein, and 28g of complex carbs, all perfectly balanced to keep my energy steady and hunger at bay. I added a few almonds and some dried fruits, and honestly, that little crunch and natural sweetness turned every bite into a mini celebration, especially for anyone over 55. Choices like these really matter. Studies show that eating oatmeal daily can reduce the risk of heart disease, while beta-glucan, the soluble fiber in oats, helps regulate blood, sugar, and naturally lowers cholesterol. Think about it for a moment. You're standing in line, deciding between a buttery croissant and the classic oatmeal. Personally, I always lean toward the oatmeal, knowing this small choice is giving me energy, calm, and a little dose of happiness. Sometimes, it's the little habits that bring the biggest joys. And for me, this warm bowl of oatmeal is one of those small, perfect moments. Number 14, Chick-fil-A's Grilled Chicken Sandwich. I'll be honest, after 55, heavy fried burgers can feel like a workout in themselves. Last Sunday, I was walking back from the farmer's market, juggling a basket of fresh vegetables and a tote full of books, when hunger hit me like a ton of bricks. I thought, why not try something different? And stepped into Chick-fil-A. That's when the grilled chicken sandwich caught my eye, and my heart said, yep, that's the one. At 320 calories, it felt light yet satisfying, and the 30 Ig of protein promised steady energy for the rest of my busy afternoon. The first bite? Wow. Smoky grilled chicken, crisp lettuce, ripe tomato, all tucked into a soft bun, comfort food magic without the heaviness. My little twist? A smear of mustard instead of mayo, just enough to add a tangy kick and make me smile without a hint of guilt. I paired it with their fruit cup, and suddenly, a fast food stop felt like a tiny indulgence. That also made sense for my body. The little moments around me made it even better. An older gentleman laughing with his granddaughter over her first bite of grilled chicken, a staff member patiently explaining healthy options to a newcomer, and me quietly soaking it all in. I realized it wasn't just about the food, it was about small pleasures and mindful choices that fit effortlessly into everyday life. And yes, science agrees. Lean protein supports muscle, metabolism, and heart health. Precisely what we need after 55. But beyond that, the real reward is the quiet satisfaction. A tiny celebration of taking care of myself while still enjoying every bite. It wasn't just lunch. It was a little moment of joy, energy, and reassurance that you really can have both taste and wellness at the same time. Number 13, Subway's Veggie Delight Salad. When you hear Subway, most people immediately think of foot-long sandwiches and cheesy wraps, right? But the real star is hiding right here. The Veggie Delight Salad. Trust me, this isn't just any salad. It's a guilt-free, energizing fast food option, especially if you're 55 plus and keeping an eye on your heart health, blood sugar, and waistline. This salad is packed with crisp, fresh vegetables, including lettuce, spinach, tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, and onions. If you're craving a protein boost, add grilled chicken or turkey, and you'll get both taste and nutrition in every bite. As for the nutrition, a veggie-only salad contains about 6,100 calories, with 5-6g of fiber to aid digestion and promote heart health. Add protein, and you're looking at 20-25.5 of protein with moderate fat levels. Science backs this up too. A study in the Journal of Nutrition notes that a regular intake of vegetables helps regulate cholesterol and blood pressure while lowering the risk of diabetes. And honestly, this salad is anything but boring. Each bite is a burst of freshness, a zing of flavors. When paired with a light vinegar-based dressing, it's like a flavor bomb in your mouth. Personally, I always say, when you're standing at the counter with two choices, one, A, deep-fried, cheese-loaded option, and the other, this refreshing veggie delight, salad after just one bite, you'll think, yes, I made the wise choice. It doesn't just fill your stomach. It energizes you from the inside and leaves you guilt-free. And honestly, at this stage in life, that's precisely the kind of vibe you want. Number 12, Panera's Mediterranean Veggie Soup. The other morning after a walk, I stopped at Panera. I usually grab a sandwich, but for some reason this time the Mediterranean Veggie Soup caught my attention, so I went with something lighter. From the first spoonful, it just felt comforting. Roasted zucchini, bell peppers, tomatoes, and chickpeas blended with olive oil and herbs. Simple, but full of flavor. At about 150-180 calories a serving, with 6-7 grams of fiber and 5-6 grams of protein. It left me full, without that heavy, sluggish feeling. While I was eating, I noticed an older couple at the next table. They both had bowls too, and were laughing about what I can presume were their grandkids, as one of them popped an apple slice in their mouth and faked smile. Watching them made me appreciate how the inside setting of a place like a Panera can invoke many emotions. Little moments, if you will. And it makes sense. Vegetables and legumes are known to steady blood sugar, support heart health, and help with digestion. Every spoonful felt like it was doing something good for me. By the time I finished, I felt full, energized, and honestly a little proud. It didn't feel like just another quick meal. It felt like a small choice that actually mattered. Number 11, Taco Bell's Chicken Power Menu Bowl. Taco Bell isn't usually my go-to for something healthy. I mean, when is it really? But the Power Menu Bowl with chicken looked perfect, so I decided to try it. And let me tell you, that first bite really surprised me. Smoky grilled chicken, nutty brown, rice, hearty black beans, crisp lettuce, and the tangy zing of pico de gallo. It all came together like a tiny celebration of flavor. I stirred in a spoonful of guacamole, skipped the extra cheese, and suddenly had a creamy, satisfying mix without that heavy, sluggish feeling that usually follows fried meals. Nutritionally, it's a solid choice for anyone conscious of energy and wellness. 470 calories, 27 g of protein, 10 of fiber, and 15 of fat. That combo of lean protein, fiber, and complex carbs helps maintain muscle, stabilize blood sugar, and support heart health. A subtle bonus that makes this meal more than just convenient fuel. What stood out was how balanced it felt. I wasn't weighed down like after most fast food meals, and I didn't find myself craving something else right away. It struck me that if more places offered meals built like this, lean protein, veggies, and real fiber, it wouldn't feel so rare to eat fast food and still walk out energized. After finishing the bowl, I realized I felt satisfied in the best way, full, happy, and confident that I made a wise choice. Taco Bell's Power Menu Bowl shows that fast food can fuel your body and your day without guilt. Number 10, Wendy's Chili. After some errands not too long ago, I found myself popping into Wendy's for a quick, warm bite. There was this lady, maybe in her 60s, not too far from the entrance, and that consequently allowed me to get a whiff of her simmering chili, which caught my attention, so I decided to give in. The first spoonful was surprisingly excellent. Lean ground beef, kidney beans, diced, tomatoes, and onions all came together in a hearty, comforting mix. It felt warm and satisfying without that heavy, sluggish feeling that usually follows fried foods. I added a few extra beans and a sprinkle of veggies, and suddenly it didn't feel like just fast food. It felt like a thoughtful, nourishing little meal. A medium bowl packs about 240 calories, 17 of protein, 7g of fiber, and 9g of fat, perfect for steady energy, supporting muscles and aiding digestion. The beans provide fiber for heart health, and the lean beef helps maintain strength benefits that become even more important as we get older. What's more, dietitians actually rate it among the healthier fast food soups, not because it's low in everything, but because that fiber content is rare at the drive-thru. Fiber is a nutrient we don't get enough of in our diets overall, but it can be especially difficult to get from fast food restaurants. On the flip side, the sodium is something to watch. One serving hits nearly 40% of your daily limit, so it's best enjoyed in moderation or balanced with lower sodium choices throughout the day. Number 9. McDonald's grilled chicken sandwich. The grilled chicken sandwich at McDonald's shows that fast food doesn't have to be greasy or indulgent to taste good. It's built around a juicy chicken breast that's grilled, rather than fried, which cuts down on excess oil while keeping plenty of flavor. Add a layer of crisp lettuce and a soft bun, and you've got a sandwich that feels lighter but still satisfying. I swapped the mayo for mustard, which gave it a sharp tang and kept the calories in check, a small change that makes a big difference if you eat out often. What makes this sandwich stand out is the balance of its ingredients. The chicken delivers lean protein, which supports muscle strength and keeps you fuller longer. The lettuce adds crunch and a small dose of fiber, while the bun gives just enough carbs for steady energy without tipping into that sluggish fast food crash. It's a simple formula, but it works. And compared to the chain's heavier fried options, it's a smarter way to get the comfort of a classic sandwich without the downsides. Nutritionally, it clocks in at around 380-400 calories, with 27 grams of protein and a moderate amount of fat. For adults over 55, that's no small benefit. Harvard's School of Public Health emphasizes lean protein as essential for maintaining bone density and metabolic health with age. The fiber from the lettuce helps with digestion and stabilizes blood sugar, while the controlled fat content supports heart health rather than working against it. When it's finished, you don't get that weighed down, guilty feeling that often comes with fast food. Instead, you walk away satisfied, energized, and a little more confident about your choice. It's not flashy, but it's proof that even McDonald's can deliver a meal that's balanced, nourishing, and worth choosing. Number 8. KFC's grilled chicken breast. I usually don't expect much from a KFC, reason being I can literally taste how they went, from good to bad to worst in the past 10 years. However, there's an item here that, unlike the fried pieces, tastes pretty damn good and isn't a burden to eat. I'm talking about their grilled chicken breast. The first bite for me was amazing, juicy, tender, and full of flavor. I sprinkled a little hot sauce, nothing fancy, just enough to give it a tiny punch. I thought to myself, this is the kind of fast food that can actually surprise you. At around 210 calories, 38 grams of protein, and just 7 grams of fat. It's a bright choice, especially compared to the usual fried breast with nearly double the calories. Perfect for anyone mindful of heart health, bones, or waistline after 55. Grilling isn't just lighter, it locks in protein while cutting extra fat. That means you get all the muscle and metabolism benefits without feeling heavy or sluggish. Pair it with a salad or steamed veggies, and you've basically got a complete balanced meal that leaves you satisfied in the best way. Another point worth noting is the micronutrient profile. A grilled chicken breast is a natural source of niacin, also known as vitamin B3, which helps convert food into energy, and selenium, an antioxidant mineral that supports thyroid function and immune health. The moderate fat content, especially compared to fried options, also keeps saturated fat lower, which the American Heart Association highlights as key for maintaining cardiovascular health. After the last bite, I sat back, feeling content, light, and a little victorious. KFC's grilled chicken breast reminds you that fast food can be wholesome, delicious, and satisfying. without any compromise. Although I'll admit that tiny melancholic feeling knowing the fried chicken, eaten in moderation of course, will never be the same as those early 2,000 years did get to me. But, oh well, such is life. Number 7. Burger King's Morningstar Veggie Burger. You know, when I first heard about Burger King's Veggie Burger, my immediate thought was, really? Out of all places to have a veggie burger, Burger King steps up to the plate? The only reason in the first place I discovered this was due to the fact me and my family, some years ago, were traveling from Chicago to Arizona, miles upon miles before. Arriving towards in-out territory, lunchtime hit, and we hit an exit, admittedly with little to no options. We stepped inside a Burger King, and well, the rest is history. The taste was honestly excellent. The plant-based patty, made from soy, vegetables, and whole grains, had a hearty texture and a gentle savory flavor. I added a few fresh lettuce leaves and combined with the mayo, which they automatically give you, I thought to myself. This is when fast food pleasantly surprises you. At 380 calories, with 23 grams of protein and 4 grams of fiber, it gave me steady energy without feeling heavy, a real win. When you're mindful about muscle and digestion after 55. With this pleasant meal and a bottle of water, I felt more than ready to get behind the wheel, keep going. So here's to Burger King, who I had once lost all faith in after tasting their Whopper and finding out neither their burger nor fries are like they were before. Well, I guess all hope isn't lost. Number 6. Chipotle Steak Burrito Bowl. The Steak Burrito Bowl at Chipotle shows how fast food can deliver both flavor and substance when built smart. By skipping sour cream and cheese, the bowl stays lighter, while keeping all the essentials: grilled steak, beans, peppers, onions, and salsa. Each bite mixes lean protein, fiber, and antioxidants, creating a meal that feels hearty without being heavy. At about 450-500 calories, it actually provides balance instead of excess. The steak alone offers over 25 grams of protein, enough to support muscle repair and satiety. Black beans contribute another 15 grams of plant-based protein, along with 15 grams of fiber, which is over half the daily recommendation for adults. That combination of protein and fiber slows digestion, helping maintain steady blood sugar and longer-lasting energy compared to carb-heavy meals. The vegetables add more than crunch. They bring vitamins A and C, potassium, and magnesium, nutrients tied to cardiovascular health and immune support. The salsa is more than just flavor, supplying antioxidants like lycopene from tomatoes and capsaicin from peppers, compounds linked to reduced inflammation and improved circulation. Together, these elements turn what looks like a quick meal into a nutrient-dense option that stands out in the fast food landscape. When the bowl was gone, the difference was obvious. No sluggish crash, no regret, just steady energy and the sense that I'd actually eaten something real. It wasn't the usual stuffed and sleepy fast food ending. It felt like fuel I could actually use. With controlled calories, solid protein, and real nutrients backing it up, Chipotle's Steak Burrito Bowl shows that fast food doesn't always have to fight against your goals. Number 5. Dunkin' Donuts' Avocado Toast. Now, whenever I do pass for my morning coffee, on occasion I do fall in the trap of get myself a little treat, whether it be a Boston cream or a Long John, but recently I decided to switch it up, and oh boy am I glad I did. Ladies and gentlemen, meet the avocado toast from Dunkin'. Creamy avocado spread on warm, toasted sourdough greeted me with a gentle, nutty aroma. The buttery texture, with just a hint of salt and pepper, made each bite feel lively and energizing. I thought, okay, this is fast food done right. At only 250 calories, it gave me steady energy without weighing me down. Those heart-healthy fats and fiber were a quiet reminder that I was doing something good for my body, while the potassium helped keep blood pressure in check. Tiny, powerful perks after 55. According to the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, regular avocado eaters lower their risk of heart disease and stroke, so yes, my little toast had superpowers. Harvard nutrition researchers note that a breakfast with slow digesting carbs and protein helps stabilize blood sugar and prevents energy crashes. Oatmeal, rich in soluble fiber, has been shown by the American Heart Association to support satiety and heart health, while nuts and fruit add micronutrients that the CDC reports most adults underconsume. The effect is clear: steadier energy, better appetite control, and sharper focus across the morning. Choosing this type of meal transforms breakfast from a quick fix into a strategic investment in long-lasting performance and health. Number 4. Arby's Roast Turkey Swiss Wrap. I'll be the first to admit that Arby's is one of those chains I actually don't go out of my way to find. It's sort of the place I'll stop by if there's no options really, but in this particular instance, I was pleasantly surprised. I started by glancing at the menu with doubt, but something about their roast turkey Swiss wrap caught my eye. As I unwrapped it, the aroma of roasted turkey mingling with melted Swiss cheese made my stomach do a little happy dance. The first bite was a minor revelation, a satisfying crunch from fresh lettuce, soft, warm, tortilla-hugging lean turkey, and that gentle creaminess from the Swiss cheese. I thought, okay, this is actually good, balanced, tasty. But I was already mentally preparing myself of the amount of calories this thing ought to have. But lo and behold, I was in for a surprise. At around 410 calories and 24 grams of protein. It's enough to give someone steady energy without leaving him or her sluggish. The lean turkey was quietly supporting my muscles and heart, while the cheese added just enough healthy fat to make it feel indulgent without guilt. Framed another way, the wrap offers about 20 to 25% of its calories from carbs, about 45% from fat, and 23 to 30% from protein, making it a protein-forward option for a fast food meal. What does that mean in practical terms? You're looking at a filling, energy-sustaining choice. A calorie count that's moderate for lunch, a high protein punch to curb hunger, and enough fiber to keep digestion and blood sugar on an even track. Swap out something higher in simple carbs or saturated fats, and this becomes a more balanced, nutrient-forward pick. According to the Journal of the American Heart Association, lean proteins like turkey help regulate cholesterol. They may lower the risk of heart disease. Perfect reminders that a bit of mindfulness goes a long way. Number 3. Domino's Veggie Thin Crust Pizza. Domino's. You're either a super fan or couldn't care less about the chain. And for a long time I was the latter. However, if you must have takeout pizza, here's a very good candidate and why. Each slice was a pleasant eating experience. Thin, crispy crust loaded with mushrooms, onions, bell peppers, and spinach that felt fresh, vibrant, and full of flavor. It practically made me smile. I was doubtful at first until I read the data. Each slice comes in around 150-200 calories, so that means one could easily enjoy 2, without that post-fast food guilt weighing you down. The veggies add handy fiber and antioxidants, quietly supporting the heart and keeping the body resilient. Tiny wins that feel huge after 55. According to the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry, colorful vegetables help combat oxidative stress and protect your heart. So yes, my pizza was doing more than just tasting good. Let's see sausage or pepperoni do that. For a little extra oomph, I added grilled chicken. It boosted the flavor and gave my muscles and bones a solid protein hit without the heavy, saturated fat overload of typical pizza toppings. I think I actually paused mid-bite thinking, who knew fast food could actually feel this smart and satisfying? Around me, I saw people taking out their orders, twisty bread, chicken wings, and who knows what else. Not to say you can't indulge once in a while, but I felt all right with my pick. By the last bite, I felt nourished and content. Domino's Veggie Thin Crust Pizza reminded me that smart, flavorful choices can make fast food feel good for the body and the soul. Number 2, Panda Express Grilled Teriyaki Chicken. About 2 weeks ago, I think it was, I wandered into Panda Express. It had been a while since I last stepped foot in one. Why? No reason, really. There's just not many around my area. Walking in, I was already bracing myself for the usual fried frenzy. I walked in, mostly out of curiosity, if I'm being honest. And then there it was, the grilled teriyaki chicken. I paused, smiled, and thought, could it be worth a shot? One forkful later, I was pleasantly surprised by tender, smoky chicken glazed with that perfect hint of teriyaki, paired with lightly steamed vegetables that still had a crunch. Only 350 calories with 30 grams of lean protein is enough to make me feel full and energized without that dreaded food coma. The fat content is moderate, so my heart thanked me. And knowing it was grilled instead of fried gave me an extra smug look at me adulting properly moment. Vitamin B6 adds a subtle energy boost, perfect for days when you've already walked a few extra blocks just to avoid traffic. Around me, I noticed a young couple debating over fried versus grilled, and I silently cheered they'd soon discover the joy of guilt-free flavor. When my last bite disappeared, I leaned back, feeling full, energized, and quietly triumphant. Panda Express's grilled teriyaki chicken reminded me that fast food doesn't always have to be a guilty pleasure. And honestly, walking out with a satisfied grin, knowing you made the smarter choice, feels surprisingly victorious. Number 1, Five Guys Little Hamburger. Finally, at number 1, yes, oddly enough, I'm talking about Five Guys. Now, I will admit, this one is sort of a treat option, meaning I do believe there is definitely healthier stuff out there. But say you're having one of those days where you must eat a burger, our right as Americans after all, and you don't want that overloaded plastic feel. Well, head over to Five Guys, and here's why. Instead of those towering burgers with double patties and whatnot, what's called the little hamburger comes with one beef patty instead of two, looks and tastes delicious. The patty juicy, the bun soft and toasted just right, and at 480 calories with 25 g of protein. It's that premium fuel my muscles need and keeps me going without the dreaded post-burger slump. The fat content is balanced, so my heart got a high five. 2, I took a bite, and it hit me the perfect marriage of flavor and practicality. No heavy sauces weighing you down, just pure, simple, fresh ingredients. Finishing that little burger, I couldn't help but feel a quiet sense of triumph. Five Guys' little hamburger may be modest in size, but it delivers big on flavor and even bigger on letting you feel good about your choice. But as always, I did indulge in their peanuts. Because, well, why not?